Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Silver Screening, and a very important episode at that. This is our big 30th episode.
It's low-key a lot. It's a lot.
Definitely. I'm proud we got this far. To celebrate, we're going to be talking about a next lineup of movies coming to theaters soon. We're going to be talking about Evil Dead Burn. We're going to be talking about Moana, the live action, not the original. And we're going to be wrapping things up with that age-old debate about whether or not Disney can keep getting away with live action remakes. As always, I'm Aaron McGuire.
And I'm Shawn Torres.
And this is Silver Screening.
Coming to you from the Stream Center at Concho Valley Homepage, powered by KLST and KSAN, where we break down the biggest movies, hidden gems, and everything in between. This is Silver Screening on ConchoValleyHomepage.com.
All right. You ready for the big 30th? You ready? I am more than excited for this one. All right, let's start off things strong then. We're going to be talking about Evil Dead Burn, the latest entry into the reboot of the 1987 Evil Dead franchise. A lot to unpack there, but before we get too much further, let's unpack the trailer.
What's wrong? What happened?
We found you.
William, my sweet boy. I would give anything for us to be together again.
Our grandfather believed the devil would return if anyone read from the Book of the Dead.
Cool down. The whole family can be reunited. Cheers to your perfect family.
Welcome back, everyone. And that was the trailer for Evil Dead Burn. I don't know about y'all, but that seems like pure nightmare fuel. That movie looks insane from what I've seen so far. It looks like this horror movie is going to be a little bit gory, and looks like they're not afraid to show a little too much. Even in the trailer, you see a couple fingers falling off from a door. This movie looks crazy.
I now have a renewed fear of silverware drawers and the dishwasher after watching that scene, honestly. At least you got to scratch that itch I've always had in the back of my head of what happens if I drink candle wax straight from the candle, you know?
100%.
You had to think like once as a kid or else you didn't live, right? Is that just me? No? Or am I just weird? We'll see. All right, well, straight from IMDb, I'm going to read the quick synopsis here for everyone, just so we can stay on the same page. Quote, after the loss of her husband, a woman seeks solace with her in-laws. As one by one they transform the Deadites, she comes to discover that the vows she took in life survive, even in death. Now, I don't know about you, but usually people say that they hate their in-laws. They don't mean it in undead horror kind of sense, but honestly, it's a new take. It's a new take. Of course, this is from the very critically acclaimed Evil Dead franchise. That franchise got its roots back in, I believe, believe I want to say 1981 with the original Evil Dead movie. It became a trilogy that concluded with the Evil Dead Army of Darkness movie in 1992. The trilogy itself followed Ash Williams, who's basically become a horror icon as like a kind of a horror hero nowadays. He was the guy who did the chainsaw hand before the guy in Sharknado, if that makes any sense for you, Shawn.
A little bit.
And so for a lot of the 1980s babies out there that I was watching Friday the 13th, that were watching Freddy Krueger, this is kind of a familiar beat for them. However, this is much more different from that original formula that we found in the 1980s, as the franchise itself got rebooted in 2013 with a movie just called The Evil Dead. And so this is the, I believe, I want to say the third entry into that new universe, that I don't want to say trilogy yet because they're all kind of disconnected, but that new revival that they're doing.
Oh yeah, this is so the third iteration, and I was talking to Rhett, our old coworker, this weekend, and we were talking about movie franchises that should like no longer exist, and he definitely brought this one up. He said that honestly, if they don't bring back Sam Raimi or Bruce Campbell, that was the Ash Williams character.
Yeah, I mean, we can't blame Bruce Campbell for that one necessarily. He's been battling cancer for a long time. It would let the man breathe. Let him have his peace.
That's funny.
Like, we love Ash Williams, I'm sure, but he's not. I don't want to disrespect the actor like that.
No, but like, so off that take, I'm just, because I haven't seen any of the Evil Dead movies, just based off that take, I'm guessing the first couple were really good, and then that reboot was nothing.
The reboot, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I actually wrote down the ratings. I don't think I actually wrote down the ratings for the reboots. Forgive me on that front. But I know this far it's much more different than the original trilogy, because the original trilogy had a kind of a structure of a narrative. These seem kind of like isolated instances in the same universe. They do serve as direct sequels. The original Evil Dead, forgive me. This is basically a direct sequel. Like Burn is a direct sequel to Evil Dead and Evil Dead Rise. Yeah. Now there is another Evil Dead movie already in the works for Evil Dead Wrath in 2028. Oh, wow. So we already have a lot of that to work with. So this franchise seems to be here to stay, whether we like it or not, for better or for worse.
The movie don't look too bad either. Like, I was watching the trailer and I was like, it's looking not bad.
All right, we'll have to see if you're in for a bloodbath this week. You ready to give your review?
For sure.
Cool. I'll give it a countdown. 3, 2, 1. I'll give it like I don't want to say like a middle, like a diagonal kind of. It seems like a good movie, all things considered, but I feel like those who are longtime fans of the Evil Dead franchise will probably look at the stumps of Ozymandias' legs in the desert and wonder what could have been.
For sure.
All right. When we get back, we're going to be talking about the live-action Moana movie, so stick around for more Silver Screening.
Coming to you from the Stream Center at Concho Valley Homepage, powered by KLST and KSAN, where we break down the biggest movies, hidden gems, and everything in between. This is Silver Screening on ConchoValleyHomepage.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Silver Screening. We're going to be talking about live-action Moana now, the new one coming to theaters on July 10th. And we're going to be returning to the wonderful world of, wonderful world of Moana in the Polynesian Islands. Take a look at the trailer.
Moana, I want to know about you. Tell me about your hopes, your dreams.
Well, I guess I kind of jumped.
Time's up, I gotta bounce.
Maui. Shapeshifter. You stole the heart of Te Fiti and cursed the whole world. If you restore the heart, you'd be everyone's hero. Maui, you're so amazing. Look at the definition. This girl's.
It's true, I do have beautiful hair.
What can I say except you're welcome? I'm sailing away, you're welcome.
This mission has no chance. We gotta go through a whole ocean of bad.
We can do this.
Maui's not spelled with a we, it's spelled with an I.
No, you get it!
Good job, me. And she's back. Sometimes in life, you're the hero, and sometimes you're the bait.
Wait, what?
What are you doing in the realm of monsters? Pick a night, babe. I can't concentrate on what I'm saying if you... Yeah, just pick one.
Hey, crab cake! I'm back.
The ocean chose us for a reason. We tell the stories of our wonders in the never-ending
Let's go save the world.
There is no escape. Oh, there is one escape.
Welcome back, everyone. That was a trailer for Moana 2026. And for me personally, this live action remake looks more enticing than the actual movie where it came from. I haven't seen the original Moana, but after watching that preview, I'm now a little bit interested. I'm a sucker for big CGI monster fights, and I saw Dwayne The Rock just slash that little fire monster. I'm like, okay, I might be in it now.
You haven't seen the original Moana?
I feel like I aged out of like Disney animated movies by the time that came out.
That came out in 2016.
I was 16.
You were 16. Okay.
I was watching rated R movies at that time.
You were watching rated R movies when you were 16?
That's when you get into it. Yes, at like 16 years old.
What do they do? Smuggle you into the theater?
Yeah, I think you can go in with your parents at 16. I think
I don't know what Texas law says about that, but it does say a lot about you, let me say. Okay, so I guess for you who are living under a rock, Moana follows the tale of, again, just Moana. She tries to sail to find the heart of Te Fiti that was stolen by Maui, played by Dwayne Johnson in both movies. Those two kind of develop a kind of tenuous, strenuous, but still ultimately friendly bond as they basically conquer the ocean, the monsters, all the perils within, in order to actually, save the islands from this great plague. Darkness. It's kind of hard to describe. It's called like a darkness in the show, but it shows up in like plagues and like lower harvests. They can't stay on the islands for too long.
Okay.
And so, of course, the live action is reportedly going to be a very faithful adaptation about that. So much so that it's kind of gotten hosed by reviewers thus far before it's even come out.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I was looking at my notes and I was like, that's what reviewers are saying. They're saying it's a little too faithful. It looks like a one by one at times. I mean, me personally, that's how I like remakes to be, is like, so I can compare it to the old, like keep it really, really similar, because like with the Lion King remake or with the Aladdin remake, they added some new parts in the movie that just felt like it was fluff. Like they were trying to add new hit songs. I'm like, all right, like you're doing too much. Let's keep it original. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. I don't mind some liberties. Like, how do I best say it? The Aladdin might be the best example. Aladdin had that kind of pizzazz to it, where like Will Smith's genie was very different from Robin Williams' genie, and its like presentation, his attitude towards Aladdin, like just how he carried himself as the character. But it felt like a really nice and very pleasant rendition, especially because so many people were afraid of Will Smith's genie at first. We can talk more about this in the discussion section, but just for the context of Moana, Rotten Tomatoes has given it a 36% critic score across 77 reviews and no audience scores just yet. Yikes.
Yeah.
Painful. But the majority of the reviewers I've seen that have given it negative reviews cited that it's just basically a carbon copy of the original, which again, for movie-going audiences, especially after the kind of disastrous like falling out of the Lilo and Stitch movie, the moviegoers might just be interested in just like just promise us that you won't butcher the story, you won't change its internal meanings, if you just give us a remake of a classic. But part of the issue that people have, and like personally I have, is that it's kind of hard to call Moana a classic now, is it?
Yeah, it's about, my notes serve me correct, 10 years old now, so
yeah, decade old.
Yeah.
It's like that's still a decent amount of time, but it's not exactly like Aladdin or Cinderella,
where they were made like in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. It's like when they're made in the 80s and the 90s, like not even turn of the century yet. And it's like now we're doing a remake of something that like the majority of the viewing audience still remembers watching like a decade ago. I remember watching Moana. I remember the plot of Moana still.
No, but I feel it. I feel where studio devs are coming from right here, because it's like you said, coming off the Lilo and Stitch, people are like, we don't want y'all to take liberties here and there. We want what we saw when we were little. So they're like, all right, 10 years ago, this made $1 billion. Let's start milking this cow. And they gave what people say a pretty faithful adaptation.
I feel like personally this movie could do well both on the reviewer, like on the critical level from audiences and people, like if it just came out 10 years later.
Yeah,
like if we
this might be 10 years too soon.
Like this feels too money grabby to a lot of people, and I don't blame them for thinking that. And we still have Moana 2 that came out like in 2024. We have Moana 3 that's apparently already in the works, as Dwayne Johnson confirmed in a promotional event for the live action movie in Rio de Janeiro. So we're going to see even more Moana in the future. I don't want to say it's oversaturated, but I'm saying that it's a bit too soon for a live action, I fear.
I think so, because the franchise has not been done yet. So
yeah. All right. I think that's just about all the time we have left for this segment. So are you ready to give your review?
For sure.
Cool. Give it a countdown. 3, 2, 1. I'll still give it a thumbs up. I know what I was saying about all the fears that reviewers have about this, but all that is fundamentally stemming from people saying that it's too derivative of the original movie. If you want a family-friendly movie that you can take your kids to and not have to worry anything about, this is still a good film. Yep. And like people were saying, it's just Moana made flesh and blood.
No, 100%. And like I give it a thumbs up. I'm someone who likes things that stick to the source material. Even though I haven't seen Moana, I'm gonna LARP it and be like, I saw online it says this, so it wasn't faithful. So I'm gonna LARP that. So.
All right. Well, you go off, King.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When we come back, we're going to be wrapping things up with our discussion about kind of what we were already talking to a degree about, just what we think about Disney's live action movies and their future. Stick around.
Coming to you from the Stream Center at Concho Valley Homepage, powered by KLST and KSAN, where we break down the biggest movies, hidden gems, and everything in between. This is Silver Screening on ConchoValleyHomepage.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Silver Screening.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to get into that hot debate section. We're going to be talking about the live action movies of Disney and whether or not they really, do they help or hurt the originals that they made? So, starting off strong, Shawn, give me your opinion.
My opinion, do remakes help or hurt the originals? It just depends. It depends, man. Like we were talking about earlier, does it stay truthful to the source material? And I feel like if it does, it won't hurt it. It brings us just those nostalgia memories of like, oh, we watch this now. I can see it in live action, just compare the two and make it look real good. But with the critics bombing the Moana movie, I'm scared. I want everyone who has ever complained about these live actions never being like super truthful to the source material. I need y'all to go watch this Moana movie. I really do, because if this movie does really bad, these remakes will probably be like super different from the source material.
Yeah, and the one thing I can kind of agree with you on there. I, in general, kind of believe that these movies, if done incorrectly, can be more harm than good. And I think Moana is going to be a kind of a case study on that, just because it's not like Moana 2, well, the live action Moana isn't harmful from I can tell, in the sense that it's like a bad movie necessarily. It's a too soon movie. And so we'll see how that kind of pans out in terms of scheduling wise, what constitutes a time to make a good remake. But from there, just a lot of people concerns we had, like you and I talked about this before the show started, Lilo and Stitch. That came out this year, and let me tell you, a lot of people did not like it, even if it did well in box office, just because a lot of the story elements of it were just kind of fundamentally different from the original movie. Spoilers for the movie if you didn't watch it yet, but it ends with, I forget, who's Lilo's sister? It's Lonnie, right?
Yep.
Okay, I want to make sure I say her name right. Lonnie's sister ends up going to university, but she basically uses portals to kind of go back to Lilo every now and then. But still, essentially leaving Lilo up to child custody, if I'm not mistaken. And furthermore, they remove some like very important characters. They remove Cobra Bubbles. Like everyone loves Cobra Bubbles.
They didn't include him, which was crazy. And also, I heard that they didn't keep the.
Actually, no, they didn't. I am very stupid. I'm sorry. I remember miscorrectly. They removed Gantu. They made Cobra Bubbles the main villain.
Yeah, Gantu's the shark dude, right?
Gantu's like the 10-foot tall shark alien guy. Like, you know, the main alien threat.
Yeah, so I heard that they didn't include him because the CGI didn't look right.
It's like, I did.
Well, if it doesn't look right, don't make the movie. It's kind of simple. Don't make the movie. Yeah, then maybe it's too soon for this one if we can't make it look correctly.
And so like, there's just kind of a general philosophy that I have with these movies, that they can take some liberties. Going back to what we were talking about in the last segment with Aladdin, for example, I really enjoyed how Will Smith portrayed the genie. It's not Robin Williams as genie whatsoever, but it's still a very unique take on the genie, the one that I thoroughly enjoyed, and one that a lot of people were kind of concerned about at first. A lot of people were genuinely terrified that Will Smith's genie looked weird. And they were just concerned that it wasn't like this big boisterous personality that they came to love with Robin Williams in the new rendition. But Smith took the role, made it his own, and nowadays he's probably, I mean, I guess there's only been 2 genies thus far, but he's still a pretty well loved genie rendition.
No, 100%. And you kind of called Moana a case study, and I think it is, especially on a different end of having something that's super close to the source material versus having a Mulan that was remade live action a few years ago, and that was completely different. There was no singing, there was no Mushu, so it's like you just removed half the movie here.
Exactly. Like, the main drive for live action remakes in most audiences, from my understanding, is kind of nostalgia. It's parents being able to trust that they can show kids something that they love, and the parents can get something out of this movie in the process. It's introducing a new generation to familiar older IPs with a new coat of paint, even if the paint is meat and CGI.
Yeah.
And so, by necessity, it kind of dictates we have to have just like similarities between the two, strong correlations between the two, not necessarily the identical, like the same like movie all around. Like, again, we saw with live action Aladdin, there can be some differences in the movie and still have some success. But it's when you deviate very far from the plot, from the characters, and just overall the original structure of the movie that you're basing it off of, that it stops feeling like a remake and starts feling like you're just a new take on something.
Yeah, 100%. It's like a retelling.
Yeah, it's almost like that homework thing. It's like just copy my homework and like just make a couple changes so it looks different.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like that almost.
Yeah. And honestly, I see Disney, the reasons why they keep trying to push these out, because even like some of their original IP, they've been coming out since like the early 2020s. They haven't done so well. Lightyear kind of bombed, Strange World kind of bombed, Wish kind of bombed, Elio was a disaster.
I still feel bad for Elio. I think that's just a case of bad marketing, in my opinion. But
I think that had to do a lot with we hired someone to write this movie and they had an agenda, then they got fired because they had a whole overhaul at Disney and they introduced another director that had a whole different vision, and they tried to mash the two visions and it just came out to nothing.
It was a whole mess for that movie. But anyway, go on.
But movies like that. But we also have seen some like live remakes bomb, like Snow White. So Snow White did terrible. But I don't know if that was more of the actors kind of ruining it for the own movie.
Yeah, and so like there's a precedent for remakes basically either flopping or doing serviceably.
Yeah.
I've never really heard of a remake that's done excessively well.
Yeah, I haven't heard of a remake where someone's like, you need to watch this, you need to watch this. But I'm hoping maybe this one will be it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can see if Moana is. I still think Moana falls into that category of too soon.
Yeah, 100%.
Again, like we're getting a third Moana before, and we're getting a live action remake already.
Yeah, like let the franchise end first.
It's like first off, like let it sit for a while first. It's kind of hard. Like, let it stew for a bit. Let people enjoy it. I mean, the sequel came out in 2024. It's 2 years ago. It's still fresh in people's minds. And so for all that it's worth, there is potential for these remakes to do well. But it really needs to be handled with some nuance. That way it can still be enjoyable and not necessarily just kind of an affront to the movie-going audience as nostalgia. But it's not going to happen unless we speak with our wallets. And, well, yeah, you know how people are.
That's why I said in the very beginning of this, if y'all want like a frame-by-frame, almost faithful adaptation, spend all your money watching Moana. Because that will show the studio's devs like, oh, this is what the audience want.
If nothing else, I just like to say, here's my personal headcanon. If this Moana movie does well, we're getting a Frozen live action remake in 3 years' time.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
my bet. That's my headcanon. That's my piece. All right. Well, I think that's just about all the time we have left for this segment, and overall, all the time we have left for Silver Screening. If you want to watch more episodes like this, make sure you can get us on the Smart TV, on your Fire TV, on your Roku, on your Apple TV, and you can also check us out on ConchoValleyHomepage.com. You can check us out in the KLST Plus Originals tab. All of our episodes are going to be there, and again, that is our big 30th episode already wrapped up. It's a shame to see it go by so fast, but honestly, it was a blast all the way through.
For sure.
All right. As always, I'm Aaron McGuire.
I'm Shawn Torres.
And this was Silver Screening. Thanks for watching.